All right, I'm getting this thing together here. Let's see what we're looking like. Going live here. Got my, getting my amp set here. Live on the YouTubes. Let's see what this guitar is going to look like here. All right, cool. Just checking this out. Hey, buddy, how's it going, man? I think you're the first one here. Let me close this door and try to adjust this thing. The old iPhone, man, it's kind of hard to beat in this situation here. Howdy there. Guthrie Trapp coming to you, of course, here from East Nashville, Tennessee. You know, I messed up and didn't do an advertisement for this on actual YouTube so you guys would know about it. And so I'm assuming this will be up there and you'll be able to see it. Next time, I'm definitely going to do a... Let me turn this light on real quick. All right. Next time, I'm definitely going to be doing a ad for this so you'll know about it. Just kind of slipped my mind with everything going on. Let's see. Howdy from Charlotte. Thanks so much. Holland. Awesome. Howdy. This is kind of last minute here. I kind of threw this. Ireland, my favorite country to go to is Ireland. I love going to Ireland. So I'm here in East Nashville. I'm wearing some shorts today, which is pretty unusual. We're having a beautiful day. I'm going to do a little stuff for you guys here. Way better than Facebook. Yeah, I'm using my iPhone 11 for this, so I'm assuming that this is looking pretty good. Thanks for the feedback. I'm going to get to some music in just a second. I'm not sure what time it is exactly, but I was going to go live at 2 o'clock. Probably not going to go much longer than an hour because of it being such a beautiful day out there. But let's get into some music. I'm gonna start by just playing a tune on the mandolin, just for the fun of it. If I can keep this thing in tune here. I might actually have to push this back just a little bit. Let's try pushing this back just a little. Oops. So you can actually see a little bit more of what's going on here with this thing. I wasn't sure whether to do this on my laptop or the iPhone, so I chose the iPhone. So some of you guys might have heard this. One of my favorite records is Bela Fleck Drive. And so this record is off of that. It's called Up and Around the Bend. It's a little fiddle type tune. So let's try that. Mandolin tune for you there. A lot of people don't know that I'm known for playing a lot of electric guitar, and the mandolin has always been a second instrument. I love this thing. It can be a real pain in the ass too, I'll tell you that. They say that you spend half your life tuning a mandolin and the other half playing out of tune. So it can be a tedious little instrument. but the work and effort is worth it. I think it's a fun thing to play, and it's a good thing for guitar players to have in their arsenal. Even if you just learn some nice little rock and roll kind of. Ry Cooder did a lot of really cool stuff on the mandolin, and you can check that out for sure. Just a cool instrument to have in your arsenal. Really cool stuff. So I'll play a little tune on the acoustic guitar now. This is one that I did on my record called Life After Dark, and I got to tell you, I hope this looks right. Is it inverted? If it's inverted, I might not be able to change it right now. I hope this is looking the right way. I'm not left-handed. If it's inverted, I'll have to figure out. Okay, great. So I got a new thing that I'm doing on my website. Under the store, you can buy Life After Dark without my guitars on it. It's a play along. It's a play along CD. The files are WAV files and MP3s. You can buy that at my website. So it's the Life After Dark record with all the amazing Nashville session guys playing on it in the studio, the tracks. But it's the guitar, we mixed it out, so you can jam along to those tracks if you want. And so anyway, there's that. But here's a little tune called Buck Dancer's Choice. Me and my uncle used to play this when I was a kid. And it's just a cool song. I got it from I think Taj Mahal, which he got it from somebody else, but it's a cool thing, and you can add a little African influence to it if you want, which I did on my record. I recorded that, and so Costa Rica, awesome, man. I haven't been down there yet, but my dad has, and my really good friend, the Chief, has been down to Costa Rica. I have yet to been. I need to explore South America. Anyway, I'm going to play this little tune, and then we'll take some questions or whatever you guys want to talk about. Thanks a bunch for being a part of this. It's a beautiful day here in Nashville, so I'm hoping to get outside a little bit after this and enjoy the day. Of course, social distancing still. I love to drive, so I'm going to take my car for a drive and just enjoy the day. So here we go with a little Buck Dancer's Choice. love playing this guitar. It's a little, you know, these Gibsons. I just love the way that they're really voiced in the mid range. It's hard to no extra charge for mistakes, as I always say, folks. Especially during that solo section there, I got a little crazy, but you know, it's fun to stretch out. I love trying to challenge myself and just kind of keep it on the fly. You know, as far as playing, I look at it as kind of like, you know, music is meant to be taken extremely seriously and you know, given the utmost respect possible, but it's also meant to not be overthought, right? To where I see this a lot, where music can be overthought to death, you know, to where the life and spontaneity is taken out of it. It's a living, breathing thing, and so it should be fun, have some life to it, energy. You know, people playing off of each other, or being in the moment yourself and just having fun at your house on one guitar or mandolin, like I'm doing today. But I like to push the boundaries, and you know, given the circumstance that I'm in, if I'm backing up a singer, I'm probably going to take less chances because it's about them and I'm supporting them. If it's my own stuff, I'm going to push the limits and probably make some mistakes, because that's, to me, how I'm going to learn. I don't want to hear any buddy playing it safe if they're in that environment. You know, it all comes down to the song and artist that you're playing with, or if you're doing your own stuff, you can kind of just go crazy, right? So many different ways to look at this stuff, but I try to keep it fresh and fun and light. But like I said, music is meant to be treated with a lot of respect. So, you know, it's pretty fun, man. Zach goes, yeah. Okay, so I will say this. I'm a huge advocate, especially if I'm playing the electric guitar. This is a 1955 J50 Gibson, and then I've got a 1933 L00 downstairs that I don't think I'm going to be able to go get that. I like to have it here for these videos, but I'm not going to be able to go down there because I don't want to leave you hanging. The mandolin is from 2005. That's a Sim Daly who used to work at Gibson, and he moved back to England and that kind of thing. But so that's the story on the mandolin. It's a good one. But the picks. So the medium Diodario Planet Waves Classic 0.70 millimeter Diodario USA, or like a Fender medium. And I love the rounded edge. I've been doing that since I heard Sam Bush do that on the mandolin 25 years ago, or 30. He uses a Fender Heavy and plays that on the mandolin. He uses the rounded edge, and I love the way that sounds, especially on an instrument like the mandolin, where there's plenty of high end already. We want that warm, woody sound, right? That dry, old mandolin sound, right? So I use this on the electric guitar, or if I'm in the studio and I'm wanting to, of course, I'm dropping my pick that I'm going to talk about in a second, but every once in a while in the studio on a guitar like this, if I'm playing a rhythm part, I'll use a medium pick because you want that more percussive sound. So that has its place too. If I'm going to do a flat pick and guitar solo, I'm probably not going to use a medium pick because I need a little bit more stiffness. I need less give. So using a medium pick on the acoustic is sometimes the right thing to do. But I have been using this blue chip that somebody gave me. It's a 35. It's a blue chip. It's got the pre-beveled edges on it, and it's pretty stiff. It's like a Fender Heavy, or maybe even leaning into the extra heavy territory a little bit, but it still has some give to it. I'm not a fan of these real heavy picks that are super thick that have no give. They really sound hard and harsh to me. I like you know, a Fender Heavy style on the acoustic and the mandolin, and this just has a nice just goofing around, but that's how that blue chip sounds. It's a really nice sounding pick, I must say. I'm not a guy that's going to go out and spend $35 on a pick, but this blue chip is a damn good one. So there's that, a little bit of the acoustic guitar. I think I'm going to pick up my electric here. Some guys were asking a little bit about that. I'm going to grab this telly here that I've been playing for a long time. And this is the Floyd. This is the Floyd. If anybody's watching, I can angle this down a little bit here. Hopefully that phone won't fall. Let's see. I might be a little out of tune. Let me check. Not too terribly bad. That's a little out of tune, but I'm not really too worried about it right now. Not too bad. So I hope you can hear this okay. This is the telly, the Floyd. That's a little of the Floyd telly. I love this. I love this guitar. It's taken. Thanks, man. I hope this sounds okay out there in the internet world. This thing is like. I've had this thing with me for a long time. I bought it in a pawn shop here in Nashville. I say pawn shop. It was really a guy's garage that smelled like kerosene in the middle of winter. There was like a dirt floor on half of it. There was like, I don't know. Oh, the tip jug. I'll mention that real quick. You can go to Venmo. At Guthrie-Trapp is Venmo, and then PayPal is just pick@GuthrieTrapp.com, or my name, GuthrieTrapp.com. So any donations you want to throw in for the coronavirus musician fund, I mean, greatly appreciated. Anyway, that's not why I'm here. I'm here just to share some stuff with you guys and have a little talk. But I bought this guitar. I left the session in Hendersonville one day, like 18 years ago, and I'd heard about this guy that had some guitars. So Cape Town, all right, I love that place. I was just there. Incredible. South Africa was incredible. So I walked in. These two guys were sitting there, and it was real funky. And they had 3 or 4 guitars sitting back behind them. And I said, "Oh, cool." I said, "Man, let me check out that Telly and the Strat and stuff, you know." And I said, "Man, how much you want for that Strat?" I was like, "Man," or the Telly. This was this one. I said, "Man, it's a killer." And so he goes, "Man, Floyd made that." He goes, "I think he wants $700 for it." I said, "Man, I'll give you $750 right now. I'll take it." And so this has been my main Telecaster forever. I finally had to get it refretted. It got a little weird, really stiff and stuff. It's starting to come back a little bit. I had just been playing it for so long, I got used to it. And so that one little change kind of freaked me out. But I think you need to just like play through that, right? So, so Floyd built this guitar out of redwood. The body's made out of redwood. And so what he did was he was in his kitchen one day out in the country. He lives like up in close to Kentucky. You know, Nashville's not that far from the Kentucky border. In case you didn't know that, we're upper middle Tennessee, and we're right on that ice snow line, you know. And so, man, I'm trying to read these comments, but a lot of them are getting through to me. I can. I'll be going through all these, of course, when we get done, but in the next couple days. But so Floyd's in his kitchen, he's doing the dishes or something, and he looks out, and he sees this compost bin that he had in the front yard, or maybe it was the backyard, I don't know. And so he looks at the compost pile and goes, "Man, I made that compost bin out of this great redwood." So he runs out there, he tears it apart, and he builds this guitar out of the redwood that he had made the compost pile of. So I always say this guitar is literally the shit, right? Even though I'm stretching that a little bit, but this guitar is made out of wood that came out of a compost pile. It's really lightweight, redwood, really light finish on it. Golf Breeze, all right. That's where they arrested the Tiger King, right? Was Golf Breeze, I think? Crazy, who cares? Anyway, it's pretty wild. He'll probably be our next president. Anyway, so right here, this finish is called Chrysler Pale Blue, right? So it was a lot bluer when I got it. Italy, all right, man, I hope you guys are doing good over there. I had a great time over there last year, incredible. So the finish is really light, so it kind of relicked itself. I mean, this thing is beat to hell and back. I've got it taped up. It's like, I mean, it's funky, right? So Chrysler Pale Blue automotive paint. He painted it with car paint, which I just think is so cool. So this thing's like, there's no serial number, nothing identifying it. So what I always say is this guitar is worth nothing, but it's absolutely priceless at the same time because I can't ever replace it, but nobody's ever going to pay anything for it because it's so just not a Fender or anything else. It's just kind of a unique guitar, which I love. And so, I don't have a lot of instruments. I don't collect a lot of stuff. I don't really spend a lot of money on instruments. I got some good instruments that I use. I've always been an old Fender amp guy. I use 60s blackface Fender amps with reverb. And, the pickups are actually Mexican Telly pickups, which we just never thought we wanted to change them. I always just like the way they sound. So we never changed them. And so, yeah, we just left it. I mean, this guitar is not perfect, but here's a little delay. chord progression to start looking at how to play over chord changes and really mark those like really great chord centers. And I'm not going to talk a lot about, this is not meant to be a lesson because I do a lot of teaching and stuff that helps me make a living. One of the big things I'll talk about in a minute is artist works, which I know you hear me talk about that a lot, but excuse me, but it is a really great platform for learning. So that chord change, kind of a little reggae groove. You can do it any way you want, but it's E minor to B minor, D to A. Right? And so what you can do with that is just take 3 strings at a time and just arpeggiate through those chord changes like this. I'm not trying to make that sound like Coldplay, even though it kind of does. That 5 minor really has that effect. But you know what? It's cool. It's a cool little chord change, right? And so I'm taking the first 3 strings, E, B, and G. Then let's take the next 3. Then let's take the next 3. The next 3. There we go. The low ones get a little tricky, but those are the ones to work on because they are hard, man. I mean the low strings, because we don't use that stuff that much. So it's really great to get those down. And so what you can do with that is start taking these arpeggios. Start seeing how I'm just making stuff up here, but that kind of, So that's really how you unlock this stuff. It's the chord shapes, it's the sounds, it's covering the chords. And to throw a little sales pitch in here, you know, if you want to do some deep diving into this stuff, the Artist Works course is fantastic. Nathan East is on there. A guy just mentioned Nathan East. John Patitucci, Nathan East, Missy Raines, great bass players, guitar, Paul Gilbert, Brian Sutton, myself. And just because it says country guitar, when you do the video exchanges, I can delve into any styles of music that I like to play and that you like to play. The other thing about it is the fundamentals that I'm teaching on there in the beginner, it's beginner, intermediate, and advanced, over 200 lessons on there. And it's a great company run by really great people that are my friends. They care about what they do. They're in Napa, California, which is just kind of a bonus. But so there's that, and so it's a great thing to do. It's a lot more than just country guitar. Thanks, the guy said on here. So thanks for that. I've got video exchanges going with people all over the world: Korea, Australia, Scotland. I mean, just all over the place. And so that's a great way to do it. You know, the fundamentals that I teach on that platform are kind of like what I just did. They're showing you what a professional uses every day and what my peers here in Nashville use every day. How we look at the guitar. It's not, yes, you do need to know what you're doing. You need to know a little bit of basic theory of like what key you're in and some stuff like that. But it's not about learning the modes and about getting into, like, if you go too far into just scales and modes and stuff like that, it becomes like, okay, I've got all these letters, but now how do I start forming sentences and words? It's very much like communicating. It's if I had to think of every note I'm playing on the guitar while I'm playing, it would be like me talking and having to be accountable for every single letter of every word I'm speaking, not to mention forming a sentence and being able to communicate with somebody in a real world way in real time, right? So if I'm sitting here playing through these shapes going B, A, G, E, I would only be able to play about that fast. And it would sound like a robot because, it is at that point. I'm being very robotic and thinking about the notes. Now, if you can do that, then, man, good for you. That's awesome. But I look at it as the sounds that I'm wanting to hear and cover, and the shapes and stuff that I'm wanting to really get into. And so, the other thing is I've got people of all levels on Artist Work. So, man, don't even worry about being a really rank beginner if you are. I mean, that's what this is for. I'm here to help everybody. And so, I'm just scratching the surface compared to really good friends of mine in Nashville, guys like Tom Britt, Tom Bukovac, Kenny Greenberg, Jack Pearson. Robin Ford lives down the street. I just saw him at the post office yesterday. We're becoming friends and have jammed together and stuff now that he's lived in Nashville, which is like unbelievable to me. That to me is like, these are moments that I dreamt about when I was a kid. Being able to play with guys like Jerry Douglas. And, I view the success in the music business for myself. Yes, I'm able to make a good living and survive here in Nashville for the past 20 years. But, the thing I look at, the thing I can take to my grave with me is the fact that if I have the respect of the people that I really respect, that to me is a big achievement, and I don't go around, gloating about that every day, but it's something that I get a little older. I think, hey, it's not about, living in a giant house and having 5 cars, or having a beach house in Malibu. It's, those things are fine. I'm not going to turn those down either, but it's more of like, I know where I'm at in the food chain. I know, that there's many, many musicians out there that are just so incredible, and I'm lucky to even be doing this. And so when I get to hang with people like that and go, those are the people that I go home at night and go, you know what, man, that was pretty cool. I love that guy when I was a kid, and now we're kind of friends and we're able to kind of hang. And sometimes you don't always want to meet your heroes. You've all heard that, right? So there's a couple of those out there too, but not many. Everybody's been really cool, and I'm a lucky dude. I'm just kind of going freestyle here, folks, which is kind of the story of my life. Thanks for being here. And man, we're up to like 324 people and 105 comments. It's pretty good. I'm not worried about that, but it's nice to see those numbers creeping up here on the screen. I'm not getting to any comments here, man. I'm being a terrible host here on the East Nashville live. Guido Massey, man, I got to tell you, thank you so much for the great time you showed me in Italy, man. That's how I like to travel. Go to a place, get off the beaten path, meet some locals, and have a fantastic time eating and drinking your way through a city or a country. Or hopefully we can get back to that soon, folks. I hope everybody's staying safe and well out there. I've been social distancing the best I can. Like I said, it's a beautiful day here in Nashville. We're going to get out and take a walk. I'm going to get out and take a walk here in a minute and just enjoy some of this beautiful weather. Go to my friend's river house tomorrow and do some fishing a little bit on the boat. He's been sequestered to his river house for the entire time, so I know he's safe. We're gonna get in the boat and hang out a little bit, but throw a little line in the water. Hey, let me try to get to some questions here. I feel like I've been able to say, hey man, I know the feeling. Every time here's the other thing about these lessons. I would not even teach guitar lessons or be involved in any kind of music education if the video wasn't a part of it. The video is 1,000% of all this. When you take a lesson from me at my house on Skype or locally, or if you do a Skype lesson with me, which you can book at GuthrieTrapp.com if you want to do Skype lessons, I do those all the time. I call it a 1 hour master lesson because I show you all the things that changed my life on the guitar and how to really, really focus on the things to pursue to make music on the guitar. So anyway, what I was saying is the video is so important. You know, when I was a kid and I was watching Tony Rice, Sam Bush, Danny Gatton, and Pat Flynn, those 4 videos changed my life on the guitar. I started really seeing and hearing what I could do with this stuff. And you know, even before the VHS tapes at my grandmother's house I used to put on after school, 335's coming up. I am going to jam on that just a little bit before we get going here in the next 20 minutes or so. But what I was going to say is learning from those records, there's something to learning from a record and not being able to see it, because then your ear really has to get good. Today, the video is a little bit of it's a head start for sure, because we're able to see what guys are doing versus just having to start from just total darkness, really, and putting the needle down on the record a gazillion times and trying to learn something note for note. So do a little both. If you get on YouTube and you're learning a lot of stuff, if you're a subscriber to something like Artist Works or whatever, you know, use the video technology, but also split it up between learning some stuff off some old records too, where you have to rewind it a million times. I'm telling you, that is tremendous ear training. But if I couldn't record the video for you guys, I would probably not even do these lessons, because here's the thing. Anytime I've ever taken a guitar lesson with somebody, I remember about 2 minutes of what we were talking about, and the rest of it I can't remember it, because that no matter what level you're on, it's all new information. And so if I'm learning some chord from somebody that's new to me, I might as well be a beginner. I might as well be just starting out learning that chord for the first time, because I am, right? And so it doesn't matter what level you're on. You got to be able to if you're going to pay somebody for lessons, there needs to be a video, because then you can access that for a lot of times to come, right? A lot of time to come. So anyway, you know, this is a style that a lot of people know me for. You know, I love this old country stuff. You know, I'm a roots music guy, man. I'm a bluegrass, folk, rock, blues, swing, country, real country, old country music. And this guy commented on one of my YouTube videos. He goes, "How long you been hanging out in the tractor shed?" He was talking about my barnwood wall. I'm like, dude, this is an expensive ass tractor shed. This stuff's gotten so popular now, it's outrageously expensive. But anyway, side note. But anyway, getting back to the country stuff, I love playing old country music because to me, it's very bluesy and very funky. And Danny Gatton kind of said the same thing. I mean, it's a lot of this kind of, it's this kind of stuff, you know. It's like the Jerry Reed thing. That's not a great example, but it's that kind of groove, right? Like that. And so it's kind of funky. I mean, some of those Waylon halftime grooves were really funky, you know, and just kind of like that kind of rhythm style. stuff. But that's kind of the idea. You know, those kind of real cool steel licks. This kind of vibe I love. You know. You know, those kind of kickoffs. This kind of stuff is awesome. I love this. Right, that old country shuffle stuff. Turnarounds are great. Nobody thinks to do this, but I learned this from a guy a long time ago. This trick here, where you're playing the 5, but the bass note is the low E string, right? So if I'm playing B7, I'm playing the F sharp in the bass. That's like these kind of blues jazz chords. Right? Those little 3-note chords are killer. I mean, there's so much stuff. Right? Here's a great lick for that. Right? Pretty cool. And then somehow, but anyway, that kind of stuff, that's all out of the chord too. Like this lick here, E6, takes on the form of a 6 minor shape. That's the thing, this stuff is so related and so it's so repetitive. Once you see a couple of these shapes, man, the guitar world just opens up insanely. And so if I learn this lick, doing this right here, C, E position, C-shaped E chord is what I'm trying to say here, folks. So playing this chord, the notes of this chord are basically that's the arpeggio. Well, a fancy way of doing this is all I'm doing, I'm taking the framework of the chord. The chord is the foundation. The framework, first level is the arpeggio, second level is the pentatonic, third level is the scale, and then chromatics and stuff from there is the candy on top, right? Icing on the cake. So to connect that, that's just a little note leading chromatic. But in order to see that, you have to see the chord and the arpeggios and stuff inside the chord. That's first, right? So in order for me to do that and know where I'm at, if I go to A, you know, that's all A Mixolydian, really. So what that is that's that I'm thinking E minor 7, G major 7, which is the same thing as the E minor, over A7. That's an old Danny Gatton trick. So that's G major 7 ideas over A dominant 7. And then if you go to A minor, you go up to C major 7 and playing over that. So if it's A minor, actually I mixed in a little D7 with that, which is basically A minor 6. The James Bond chord. We call that a spy chord, right? So, hey folks, I'm kind of wrapping up here. I want to get outside and enjoy the sunshine a little bit here. It's about, we got about maybe 10 minutes or so to come. I'm going to have to get on here and respond to a bunch of these comments on YouTube, on the actual site. And so, I haven't been really good about keeping up with all these comments, man. I feel so terrible that I haven't been able to put more energy on these damn comments. So Guido, thank you so much. I've been seeing you on here. Any tech questions or anything like that, I can go over. Can you also please demonstrate playing on B minor? Like I said, I'm not getting too much into the education on this because I want you to buy my lessons. So if you want to take a lesson, you got to check out ArtistWorks, and you got to do GuthrieTrapp.com and book a Skype lesson with me, and I'll show you all the secrets and tricks and how to put all this stuff together. But these are just some broad ideas that I hope you can kind of check out some stuff too. It's Come Down the Road to Memphis. So, okay, I'm going to tell you a little something. Anytime you say anything with the word Memphis in it, it sounds like a song title. I want you to experiment with that. Take anything you can say and put the word Memphis in it, and it sounds like a damn song title. It's pretty incredible. So it's just one of those towns, man. So here's the Shag Rugburn riff the guy was just asking me about. So it's like it goes like this, and this is a great exercise. So I'm I'm mixing the minor third and the major third and the flat seven and stuff together. And that's basically Mixolydian. If you want to talk about modes, that's the only one I know because it's the most useful. I call it the dominant 7 scale. So there's a lot of stuff that I could show you on here, but the thing about it is that little riff from Shag Rugburn, that song that I recorded, that I came up with a little riff. That's all it is. It's a little copy and paste in Memphis. Yeah, exactly. So this here, that's the riff. Start on the 5. That's a great way to mix the major third and the minor and the flat 7 and stuff together. Hammer on minor third, flat 7, 1, flat 7, to the 1. So that riff. For days and days and days. And so the thing about that riff is how it's the same thing 3 times. So that's the cool thing about it, is really get you thinking about how to connect the major third and the flat 7 and the minors and stuff, all that. It's all together. To play over a dominant 7 chord, you can't play major pentatonic or minor pentatonic just by itself. If you really want to sound like you're playing over that chord, you have to mix those together. And that's where really starting to target those major thirds and flat 7s and stuff like that really comes in handy. Let me try to get to some other questions. That is a great Freddie King chord, man. Here's another thing, folks. If you're playing something like that, try to do it all the way down. Try to do a lick in a different spot. Try to really work it out all over the fingerboard. That's what's really going to help you open up the guitar. Okay, let's try to get to a couple more comments here before I go. I'm over an hour, which I've had a blast being on here, man. There's Matt Kaufman. Thank you so much, buddy, for all. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even know how to turn YouTube on. Let's see. All right, man. So people are digging this more than Facebook. I think I'm going to do some more of these YouTube lives. I'm not sure about the videos being available to download. The artist work stuff is available for as long as you subscribe to it, and then you can do the video exchanges with me, which is a bonus. I mean, I do those all the time for people all over the world, and it's a very personal way to be a part of a subscription-based lesson platform, education platform. Lexington, awesome, man. I love that. Chris Griggs, shout out to Chris, my buddy that hangs in Lexington all the time. Love going up there. Keep the lessons coming, absolutely. YouTube, thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Tip jar, yeah, I'll mention the tip jar one more time. So if you go to @Guthrie-Trapp, that's my Venmo, and then the Don't forget to subscribe on here and to click the bell for new video notifications. And then the PayPal is just my name or my one of my emails, which is pick@GuthrieTrapp.com. I know I'm putting that out there to the world, but hey, from Alabama, all right. You know, it's cool that I have been in Nashville for 20 years and my home state is just down the road, and I can see my parents pretty frequently and stuff like that. It's LA and New York was never going to work out for me. I was from too much of a small town to move to those big places. Thanks for all the shouts out to Artist Works. I know they'll really appreciate that. Hi from Estonia. Wow, you must know Lord Jametz, the guy that played guitar for Sturgill Simpson. He's a good friend of mine, incredible player. Rome, Italy. All right, awesome. I had a blast there. Had a place in Lillian. Awesome. That's my hometown, Lillian, Alabama, down there on the Gulf Coast. LA, baby, Lower Alabama. Perdita Beach here. All right. Awesome. This is awesome. From Instagram, you're a real Southern daddy. Yeah, well, I'm trying to be. Let's see here. Hi from France. Awesome. I need to go back to France. I was on the French Riviera at some point. From Bakersfield, California, Buck Owens' home. Absolutely. Here's a total Buck Owens style riff. Like this, kind of like this. That's like that kind of Buck Owens kind of sound. I love that, you know. Oh, let's see. All right, Scotland, awesome. Survivor from Sweden, Killer, Don Rich, Ireland, K-Did, Spain. Wow, these people are all over the place. I love this, man. This is so awesome. Right down the road in Clarksville. Oh, wow, this is killer. Thank you guys so much. Hey, you know what? I'm going to sign off for now. Bolivia, unbelievable, man. This is so, Oslo, Norway, this is incredible. The Isle of Man, wow. Woodstock, New York, Chicago, Netherlands in the house. Nice, nice. Tribeca, Rochester, Wales, wow. Germany, Naples, Colorado. I love this. I love to travel so much. I'm coming to see every one of you people. Paris, Portland, Canada. Wow, this is incredible. Manchester, Italy, Savannah, Boise, Pennsylvania. Unbelievable. Hey guys, I got to tell you, from a heartfelt thank you to just, you know, unbelievable gratitude that you guys are supporting music in general, not just my career and what I'm doing in my little part of the world that I'm doing here, but to everybody involved in music that makes our lives better and happy. And, you know, it's so great that we have that in our lives. Thank you guys for supporting all of us. Thanks for supporting my channel. Thanks for supporting Artist Works. Thanks for supporting the lessons and all the stuff. Check out the my website, GuthrieTrapp.com, and send me a message. Let's do something. All right, guys. Thanks a million. I'm going to go out here and try to work on my farmer tan a little bit. And hopefully I'll see you guys real soon. Thanks a million. I'll get back to as many of these comments as I possibly can get to. And look forward to seeing y'all next time. Cheers. All right. Later on. If I can get out of here, I don't even know how to get out of here.